What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about Jamie Newman. Um, he is another player for the 2021 NFL Draft that opted out. And the first quarterback that we're going to be talking about. Like I said, I can't show film right now. I don't have access to college all 22s. I don't know where people get that from. And I'm not trying to get copyright claims too much anymore, so I'm avoiding broadcast view. That's, of course, how I am watching film to get the information, but now I'm just going to do it this way to tell you my findings. But before we get into what I've seen on film, I'm going to talk about some of his numbers. Now, he transferred to Georgia, but obviously he opted out, so he never ended up actually playing for them. So I have to go off of what I seen at Wake Forest. So that just kind of is what it is. So in his final year, he had a 60% completion percentage. He had 2,868 passing yards, 26 passing touchdowns, 11 picks. And then for rushing, he had 574 rushing yards and 6 rushing touchdowns. So, yeah, he is a mobile quarterback for sure. Now, let me grab my notes. So, like I said, he did transfer this year. I was really excited to see him play for Georgia, see him play for a better team than Wake Forest. But that just wasn't in the cards, I guess, so it is what it is. First off, I'm going to talk about his mobility a little bit. He definitely does have some athleticism to him. For one thing, he's 6'4", 230 pounds, so he's a big dude. Most of his running comes from his power. He definitely does have speed for a quarterback, but he's not like super fast. He's not like Lamar Jackson type speed, nothing like that. But he definitely can get you some yards running the football. And he's not afraid to run you over either. He'll lower his head and get some dirty yards if you need him to. He's actually a pretty patient runner too, which is an odd thing to see for a quarterback. He's got very good balance as well. He can bounce off of tackles pretty effectively. I did see that he had some fumbling problems a little bit. I'd like to see him clean that up. Especially in his last year with Wake Forest, he had 180 rushing attempts, and that really upped the fumbles. Also, a quarterback shouldn't be running it that many times, probably in the NFL. But, is there anything else I wanted to say about his running before I get into my opinions on his ability to throw the ball? No. So, well, I guess this kind of works for his passing and running. He takes a lot of unnecessary punishment as well. And that also kind of goes into his decision making as a quarterback. Like he takes hits that he shouldn't have to. And it is kind of good sometimes, like as far as trying to win a game, the fact that he'll try to run you over. But as far as trying to keep your quarterback healthy, that's not what you really want, at least in my eyes. But as a quarterback, one of the big problems for him is that he seems to hold the ball a really long time. Like he takes a very long time to make decisions. Now, one thing I will say is Wake Forest does let him go through his progressions, where a lot of college teams make their quarterback just, you're throwing to this guy, this play, throw it to him, that's it. No, they actually do let him read the field. So that is a bonus for him. And he does have good arm strength. He does. He can throw a pretty good long ball. In fact, he really likes throwing, especially on go routes and stuff like that. And he can definitely throw a pretty powerful bullet as well when needed. But with those bullets, it's another issue with him is he has a habit of not knowing when to throw those bullet passes, if that makes sense. Like, there are times where he's making the right read, but he's making the wrong throw. Like, if he'll see a receiver open between the safeties, but there's a linebacker in the way, he'll throw a line drive bullet, and it'll potentially get picked or batted down by the linebacker. Where if he would have thrown it with a little bit more touch, he could have thrown it over the linebacker's head, and it would have been a touchdown. There were many cases of plays like that. So I did want to note that. Let's see. Yeah, his pocket presence isn't that great. He doesn't really sense pressure all that well, which is odd for a mobile quarterback. I thought that would have been better. As far as his accuracy goes, he shows flashes of pinpoint accuracy sometimes, but it's very few and far between. Like, a lot of times, he's underthrowing or overthrowing, throwing the ball behind the receiver. His accuracy is just not that consistent. I think a lot of it has to do with his footwork as well. His footwork could definitely use some work as far as his mechanics go. I think if he improved that, it would probably shore up the accuracy a little bit. He doesn't always really set his feet and use his feet into his throws. So if he worked on that would help. And also his footwork, just moving in the pocket, isn't that great either. So, yeah. Also, one thing I noticed, this isn't necessarily a negative. This is more just a if your team drafts him, the types of routes he prefers. He definitely does like the go route, for sure. But also, he seems to really like timing based routes as well. Like, he likes throws where he can throw the ball before you turn or something like that. He seems to be pretty good at those. Those are the type of plays where he doesn't really have to read it as much. He can kind of see where the defender is, and he knows where you're going to go, and he'll throw it with a little bit of anticipation. He's good at those types of routes as well. That was one of the first things that I noticed when I was watching him. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had for my notes. Overall, I think he's an interesting prospect because, like I said, he does have flashes of accuracy when his mechanics are sound. I think he just needs to get more consistent with that, and his decision-making definitely also needs to improve. I don't think he needs to take all the unnecessary hits. I think he needs to learn to throw the ball away a little bit more. Probably stop trying to run people over all the time. You're seeing that with Cam. Cam's playing okay this year, but a big problem in his career has been injuries because, not only is he a mobile quarterback, but he's trying to run you over. And you're going to get your quarterback hurt doing that. So, yeah. But, anyway, like I said, I think he is going to be a pretty good prospect. I don't think I'd want him to start right away. I think he'd be better if he can sit under a veteran and learn for a little bit. At the very least, I think he'll be a good backup in the league regardless, but I think he does have the opportunity to develop in the NFL. Think if a good quarterback coach gets a hold of him, they might be able to turn him into something. Because like I said, he does have the arm strength. He does have the flashes of accuracy. And unlike some quarterbacks, I can see why his accuracy is down. It's because his mechanics are inconsistent. So if you can work on his mechanics, that might improve the accuracy. Where some quarterbacks have good mechanics, but they're just not accurate. And there's not a lot you can do to fix that. But you might be able to help him with his mechanics if you have a good quarterback coach. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I'd appreciate you hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.